Hello beautiful people, welcome back to my channel. I'm so excited that you're here and very excited to be sharing today's video, which is all about wraps. I've absolutely been loving making wraps for lunch and they have been top notch, so I figured why not make a video filming some of the ones I have been enjoying most. So in this video you'll see that I make a buffalo chickpea and Caesar salad wrap, which was chef's kiss. I also made a banh mi inspired wrap, which I have been really loving banh mi sandwiches. So adjusting the banh mi sandwich into a banh mi wrap was perfect. And then I also made a veggie wrap with a ton of fresh vegetables, smashed edamame, and a creamy herb tahini dressing to go with it. I actually just finished making the veggie wrap, which I'm so excited to dig into. I hope that you're excited for this video because I know you are going to love these wraps just as much as I did. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into this video. So this first wrap is a veggie wrap. So it's loaded with fresh vegetables and topped with a delicious herby tahini dressing. Now all of the wraps I feature in this video are very balanced. So they have some sort of protein, carb, and fiber. And for this wrap specifically, a bulk of the protein and a decent amount of fiber is coming from the edamame and avocado mash that I'm making here. So I combined 1 cup of edamame, 1 ripe avocado, 1 garlic clove, but feel free to use 2 if you want a more garlicky flavor. I also added juice from half of a lemon, but you could also do lime. I added salt and black pepper to taste, and then I wanted this to kind of be a bit more creamy, so I added 1/4 cup of non-dairy milk. Now, what is a wrap without a good dressing or some sort of sauce? And I love a good dressing and sauce, so anytime I get the opportunity to put one together, oh, you better believe it is going to be good. Now, for this creamy and herby tahini dressing, I had a ton of fresh herbs in the fridge and wanted to put them to use. This is a mix of cilantro, parsley, and fresh dill. And we prepped all that for this dressing, which consists of 1/3 cup of tahini, 1/4 cup of dairy-free sour cream. But if you have a dairy-free yogurt or if you just want to use yogurt, feel free to do that as well. Also added in some lemon juice, 1 tablespoon of nutritional yeast, which y'all already knew nutritional yeast was going to be included in one of these wraps, right? Because I love it. Also added salt and black pepper to taste and warm water to thin this out. And as with all things that you cook, go ahead and give this dressing a taste test to see if there's anything that you want to add to it. I thought that it was perfect the way that it was, but maybe you want to add some garlic, maybe you want to spice it up a bit. You could add some red pepper flakes or some Calabrian chilies. It is completely up to you. Next, I moved on to prepping the fresh veggies, which we are using a lot of them in this wrap, but I went on to prepping the fresh vegetables for this wrap. So I went in with some purple cabbage, also had some tomato and cucumber. And now the last thing to do is to put the wrap together. I actually show which type of wrap or the brand of wrap that I'm using in the second portion of this video, so stay tuned so you can see which exact brand I'm using. But anyway, I added a layer of that dressing down, followed by some romaine lettuce, shredded carrots, the purple cabbage, the tomatoes, onions, cucumbers, and a lot of that edamame and avocado mash, followed by some microgreens, a generous amount of that herby tahini dressing. And then I also had these crispy jalapenos in my pantry that I was like, ooh, a little kick would be nice, so I sprinkled some of those on top as well. So if you've been looking for a way to get some fresh veggies in, you're needing more fiber in your diet, or you just want to focus on eating a more nutrient dense type of meal, this wrap should definitely be on the list. It was so delicious, so flavorful, packed with so many vitamins, and it's also a meal that would be really good for meal prep. Now, when it comes to my meals, I try not to have favorites. I don't know. But when it came to this banh mi inspired wrap, y'all, this was 10 out of 10, okay? The flavors, this one was too good. So much so, it had me dancing all throughout the kitchen while I was making this and when I got to do the official taste test. And if you make it, I'm pretty sure it's gonna have you dancing too. Okay, let me focus on telling you how to put this wrap together. My source of protein for this wrap is a fava bean based tofu. This is a soy-free tofu, but I've also made this with a soy-based tofu, and if you decide to do the same, I would highly recommend you go with super firm tofu. The one that I'm using did come with a sriracha sauce on it. However, I still want to add another type of flavor to it, so I'm adding some Japanese barbecue sauce, and I'm going to just let this sit for about 20 minutes or so while I prep everything else. And by everything else, I mean just some quick pickled veggies, which consist of fennel, cucumber, a jalapeno, watermelon radish, and carrots. Now, traditionally, banh mi sandwiches don't include fennel. And if you have enjoyed banh mi sandwiches, you're probably like, girl, I have not had a banh mi sandwich with fennel in it. However, in my defense, I just really enjoy the taste of fennel, one, but two, it also helps aid in digestion. So I've been trying to incorporate it in my meals every now and then when I feel like it can add something to the meal. And now that we prepped all the veggies, the next thing to do is to make our little pickled veggie marinade, I guess. I don't even know if we can say that we're pickling these because I let them sit in this mixture for probably like 10-20 minutes or so. Is that pickling? Yes, no, what do you think? I don't know. We're just adding another layer of flavor to this wrap, I guess. But anyway, I went in with 3 tablespoons of rice vinegar, 1 tablespoon of maple syrup, a pinch of salt, and 1/4 cup of water. And then I just let the veggies sit in there, as I mentioned, for about 20 minutes or so, which was just enough time to cook up our tofu. I actually added my tofu to the air fryer, and I'm cooking mine on 400 degrees for about 20 minutes. I just wanted to get as crispy and charred looking as possible, and you'll see how beautiful it gets once it's done. But you could also cook it in the oven or in the stove if you would prefer one of those methods. And as promised, I'm showing you the brand of wraps that I've been using. I really like this brand. They have 2 different types. They have this one, but then they also have a whole wheat one. I just really like the ingredients that they use, and I also like that one flatbread or wrap has about 6 grams of protein and 4 grams of fiber. Y'all, I forgot to press record when I was adding the fresh veggies to the wrap, but anyway, I added down a layer of plant-based mayo and then topped it with some lettuce and those pickled veggies that we put together. By now, our tofu was all done, so I just added that on top. I also drizzled some sriracha, hoisin sauce, and then I had some mint and cilantro in the fridge, which I also added on top of this wrap. And I've been making so many wraps that I completely ran out of parchment paper. So do not judge my wrapping skills, but this wrap was so delicious. I often get questions as someone who buys a lot of fresh ingredients and fresh vegetables. How do I keep things from going bad, or how do I use them up? And sandwiches, salads, or wraps are always a good idea because, as you see, I'm using a lot of fresh veggies in these wraps. And this last one is no different. This last one is a buffalo chickpea Caesar salad wrap. And as someone who loves anything buffalo flavored but will also make a Caesar salad at the drop of a dime, this salad was the best of both worlds. And my main source of protein for this wrap are chickpeas. I'm using canned chickpeas that I drained and rinsed, but you could also use dried chickpeas that you soak and then cook on the stove. And you can leave these whole if you choose to. I wanted to try something different. I wanted to add a different type of texture to this wrap, so I decided to mash the chickpeas and then mix them with some buffalo sauce just before transferring them to a greased baking sheet and popping these in the oven on about 400 degrees for around 20 to 30 minutes. My goal was really just to dry them out and to get them crispy. However, I know everyone's not a fan of dry or even crispy chickpeas, so another option would be to let these simmer on the stove in some buffalo sauce and a little bit of vegetable broth until the chickpeas have absorbed all of that mixture. You just saw me prepping some of the ingredients that I'll be using for this Caesar salad dressing, which I'm putting together now. So I go in with hummus, some Dijon mustard, some vegan Worcestershire sauce. I tried, y'all. I never can get that right. But anyway, I also add lemon juice, nutritional yeast, capers and garlic, salt and black pepper, and warm water to thin everything out. And lately, I've been enjoying using hummus as the base of my Caesar salad dressing. Don't get me wrong, plant-based mayo definitely is a good alternative, but whenever I am trying to make something that is a bit more nutrient dense, I tend to choose hummus as the base. Now I'm just prepping the rest of the ingredients. I'm planning to toss that dressing in a mix of romaine and baby kale, which you see me chopping up here. I'm also going to add some tomatoes, red onions, cucumbers, and avocado to this wrap as well. By now, our chickpeas are all done in the oven, as you can see, and they are definitely crispy, which I absolutely love. So it is officially time to assemble our wrap. So as I mentioned, I tossed some romaine lettuce as well as that baby kale in the dressing. I went in with the cucumber, the tomato, red onion, avocado, a good amount of the buffalo chickpeas, and some more sprouts, which I love using on a wrap. And the last thing I did was drizzle some buffalo sauce on top. Now, didn't all of those look really good? Period. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really hope that you enjoyed it. I hope that you enjoyed these wraps as much as I did. You can find the recipes in the description box, so don't forget to check it out. If you're new here, please introduce yourself. I would love to say hello. And if you are returning, I appreciate you so much. I will see y'all in next week's video.
All that.
I'll start any moment, guys. You're holding the show up.
Walk back.